9:30. For all the other people who are coming in late, because there should be like 7 or 8 more of you. But I did hear from quite a few people that their kids are jumping off the walls this morning. So we're just gonna get started, and then when they filter in, that's fine. And so anyways, welcome to today. If you can hear me, raise your hand. I think all of you can hear me, but I just want to make sure. Yay. Okay. So let's see. Let me just share my screen with you guys. I don't know. Should I do my little blurb? You guys have all been here before. You guys know me. But hi, I'm Kayla. I'm a marketing consultant out here in Colorado Springs. For any of you who are tuning in on YouTube after the fact, I've been in marketing for 6+ years. I worked in freelance, and then I kind of branched out on my own this last year. So if you can't find a whole lot on me, it's because I am still building up my own business after working for other people for many, many years. So anywho, let's get into Google and let's just have some fun with this morning. I'm going to share my screen so that you guys can see what I'm talking about here. And as always, if you guys have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat during the actual presentation itself. And at the end, I will go through some of them. If you have questions about this specifically, anything that I talked about, or you had questions coming into this, go ahead and you can type them at any time so you don't forget what you wanted to say. And like I said, I'll just go through at the end and we'll go through all of those. So let's get into this without further ado. All right, so let's talk about why Google, because a lot of people, you'd be shocked by the amount of people who still don't have a Google business account. It gives your business credibility, adds value to your marketing strategy, and can help boost your site ranking to have a Google business account. There's some fun statistics here I just wanted to share with you guys. Those being, there are 3.5 billion searches happening on Google every day, and 97% of consumers browse for local businesses online. Google is by far the most popular search engine. Google accounts for more than 79% of local desktop search traffic, followed by Bing at 7.2%. I mean, that's a pretty huge discrepancy. Anyone even use Bing anymore? I mean, really. The remaining 2.2% of search is spread amongst other small players like AOL. Raise your hand if you used to have an AIM account back in the day. Okay, so businesses with online reviews are trusted by 73% of consumers. I see all of you out there who had an AIM account too, you know. So actually, funny story before I keep going. My dog, Toby, my husband and I talked online for many, many years, sidebar. And our dog, Toby, is the dog in our chat conversations in AIM Instant Messenger. So there you go. That's my moment of craziness. So social reviews through Google My Business, Facebook, Yelp are a highly effective way to boost user trust and drive conversion. So people who actually purchase versus people who are just browsing through your stuff. Businesses who displayed links to reviews directly on their website are even more likely to encourage users to make a purchase. So a little side note there, if you don't have reviews or testimonials on your website, make sure that you do. 56% of local businesses have not claimed their Google My Business listing. 56%, like that's huge to me. Businesses who have not claimed or configured this free listing are missing one of the most fundamental aspects of an effective local SEO strategy. Given that this is one of the first things users will see when searching a business on Google, it's vital to have your business listed, verified, and managed. Okay, and we're going to talk through all of that. So what is local SEO and what do you pay attention to? Okay, so I think we have to go back a little bit further and just talk about what is SEO in general, okay? SEO is search engine optimization. In that pretty little graphic there is talking about all the different things that are encompassed in SEO. So On-site optimization of your website, mobile friendliness, user experience, search accessibility, content, social media, link profile, keyword research, speed, blah, blah. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. They include technical and creative elements to improve rankings, drive traffic, and increase awareness in search engines. Aspects like the words on your page to the way other sites link to you on the web, and making sure that your site is structured in a way that search engines can actually understand. I have a bunch of resources for you guys, like a resource list that you can tap into at the end of this, including this one. I actually made like a little questionnaire for you guys to kind of check out on your own. So we won't go through all of this, but there are a lot of questions here that you can ask yourselves and kind of stack your website and all of your socials up against, and kind of look through and say, hey, like how do I stack up here as far as what I'm doing with this search engine optimization? And we'll talk about some of this other stuff. So what is local SEO when you compare it to regular SEO? Okay. So this is all about increasing search visibility for businesses that serve their communities face to face. This includes everything from claiming a business listing to ensuring a franchise location appears in a local search on Google. So like citation management, do you have business categories listed, hours of operation, driving directions, business description, and that whole big long line there, okay? It also extends to managing online ratings and reviews and social media engagement and beyond. So some of the best practices to think through, and we're going to talk about common mistakes here in a second, is to focus on the customer's intent. I love this quote by a gentleman named Hollingsworth, and he said, "Too many brands forget or fail to realize what it takes to attract and impress potential customers. They want real value. Just like in a brick and mortar establishment, customers want to know you're on their side, that they can trust you, and that you're a reliable partner in what's going to be a long-term, hopefully lifelong relationship. Give high quality, relevant content. Focus on EAT, the acronym, which means expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. Those are really important in SEO. Place a large emphasis, if not most of the emphasis, on the user's experience. So what happens when they come to your site? What happens when they come to your social channels? What happens when they find you literally anywhere online? What's their experience? And then thinking about mobile friendly first. Common mistakes are not using analytics that are provided to you or that you can tap into to kind of check and see how your SEO is doing. Not optimizing for local search, which we're going to talk through today. Not using the right keywords, so not including location. And used to be, guys, okay, so it used to be that SEO was largely contingent on the keywords and locations that you would use. And what happened was probably about 5 years ago, maybe even as recent as 3, Google got kind of sick of people overplaying that system. So now if you try and sneak in too many keywords, like if I was to say I'm in Colorado Springs, Colorado on my website every 3 seconds, that actually will damage me in SEO now. So because what Google does is they do what's called indexing on your website and anywhere they can find you online. And it's kind of like they filter through your pages and they're seeking information and like little tidbits and things that they can compare and contrast against things that you have out other places on the web. And it used to be that a lot of people would just try and stuff as many keywords and locations as they could inside of one page, hoping that Google would be like, oh, wow, look at all this rich content. Well, now that actually hurts your SEO strategy because Google knows you're trying to play their system. So it's all about having like that nice balance, kind of like your cup of coffee in the morning, not having too much cream, just right. It's the Goldilocks principle, okay? And that goes with pretty much everything I'm saying here as far as mistakes go. Having poorly written content like grammatical errors and not having enough content on your website, maybe just having like a paragraph per page, that can also be something that Google kind of goes, I don't like that, okay? Too general of an audience, so you're trying to just speak to everyone everywhere all the time. No mobile optimization. I'm pounding this in because it's so important in 2020. A poor social media presence, believe it or not, can actually hurt your SEO. And site errors, including slow loading speed, links that don't work, and poor navigation for the user. Okay, so something I also didn't include here that I wanted to talk to you guys about, which is why I wanted to pull up this handy dandy little example on YouTube, is thinking about SEO. Do you know the quote from Shrek? Okay, this one right here. Okay, so SEO also has layers. It's a multi-layered, yes, and I just totally compared SEO to Shrek. You can thank me later. So the onion principle is actually really interesting because a lot of folks, they'll be like, they come to me and they want help with SEO stuff. They'll say, oh, so they use the if then. If I do this, then my SEO will improve. And they're thinking about one thing. So SEO is not one thing. I want to make sure and reiterate that. Just like my handy dandy little graph a couple pages ago, it is a multi-layered, multifaceted thing that you have to constantly keep working towards because it constantly evolves. So there's something in SEO, and I don't want to get too deep into this because the main thing today was to talk about Google My Business, but just so that you guys really fully understand that SEO, um, it's a lifetime event of you being in business. So it's constantly something that you keep dripping into and keep adding layers to. Um, you have something on your site called website authority, and that starts the minute that your site is live. And that's a big part of your SEO, like how many links do you have on your site that link to other places? How long has your site been active? How, how many times has it been clicked on? How long do people stay on a page? Like all of that stuff is yet another layer of SEO, right down to your social media presence and beyond. I mean, it's just like it's a gumball with many, many, many layers, or an onion with many layers. And I think a lot of people get SEO confused by thinking it's something that they can do one thing to and it will suddenly magically improve overnight. And that's just not the case, as with many things on social media and other places online. So, I don't know if anyone's ever explained SEO to you like that before, but there you have it. Okay, so let's talk about creating your listing. Okay, sorry, excuse me. It's so dry here. So Google business page. So first of all, you should Google your business if you don't know if you own your listing or not. If not, you'll need to create a Google business listing. So you sign in with a Gmail account, and actually you can sign in and sign up for a Google business listing without having a Gmail account. I've actually done this with people who have Yahoo and AOL and all kinds of crazy email addresses, and I can still tie them to their Google business account. Okay, so creating your account, you'll need to go to google.com/business, and then you'll need to add a location if you can't find yours by Googling it. Okay, and then the next thing that you need to do is fill out your information. So if it's not listed anywhere online already, because you don't want to have two separate listings floating out there, and we'll discuss what to do if there is already a listing out there and somebody already owns it. So you'll need to fill out your business, verify your account with an address. If you don't verify, your account will not show. Now, I will just say right here, right now, with all of this virus stuff going on, it's going to take twice as long for Google to do anything with your page. I verified somebody's page a week ago, a week and a half ago, really, and nothing's been done with it yet. It still is listing as pending. But I would assume the longer that you wait, if you don't have this done yet, the harder it's going to be, because there's going to be all this backlog now of requests. So if you wait, you're going to be further back in the backlog once Google does start kind of getting things going again after everyone's allowed to go back to work. So if you don't wish to have your exact address shown, like I don't have my exact address showing, you can choose I deliver goods and services to my customers, and then choose service areas where you do business. And I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. What's next? You have to wait for up to 5 business days for your postcard. As far as I know, that timeline hasn't really changed. It could be anywhere from 5 to 7 business days and even up to 10. But I just did, like I said, I just did this for someone about a week and a half ago, and they got theirs in like 5 business days. You'll need the code on the back of the postcard in order to verify your account. After you verify, you'll be able to add photos, see how many people have taken action on your page, and post even more information. Important things to note with this, okay? To verify your Google business listing, and I cannot stress this enough, no PO boxes are allowed. You have to have an actual physical mailing address. If you select home services and don't put in an address, your actual address will not be shown. If you do have to have a physical location, like a storefront, your PIN needs to be accurate. If it looks off, you can move it. There is a way to move it. A lot of people just say, oh, I tried to move it and it didn't work. It just stayed there. So, and I've moved PINs for quite a few people now, and was able to actually, like there was one person, and this happens a lot with like new construction. So, or if you are in an area where Google hasn't really mapped things really well, this is a really common occurrence in having an inaccurate PIN. But it's really important because you want people to actually be able to find you. You can claim your location if it was previously owned by someone else. You'll have to request ownership. And honestly, it'd just be a lot easier if you let me know that that's happened to you. I can help you out with that on a one-to-one basis. I won't charge you anything because it's really easy for me to show you how to do that. And it's a lot easier than me trying to sit here and show you guys how to do this online, okay? If unanswered after 7 business days, maybe more right now, because like I said, all up in the air, Google will release the listing so it can be reclaimed by someone else. I've actually had this happen to about 5 or 6 listings currently that I was able to grab back from a previous owner, so that, like I said, you don't want multiple locations, multiple pins floating out there for the same location. You need to work off of the existing listing that's there and just request that ownership for yourself. Okay, so managing your listing, let's get into that a little bit. So information, and I'm actually going to do a little bit of a case study at the end and take you into a Google business listing so you can kind of see exactly where I'm clicking through. So your info, and let me see if I can just blow this up on the screen. When you log into your Google business listing, these are all the tabs that you see on the left-hand side. The info is where you can put all of your, you see all these little pens? Those all kind of show you and tell you what you can and can't edit within your page. There's a bunch of stuff down here that is currently missing because I couldn't fit it on this screen. Your information or lack thereof speaks volumes to the Google algorithm. Be specific about when you're closed, your services, categories, service areas, and more. A lot of folks don't know that you can actually add your service areas in now. And that this is actually weighed very heavily in how Google views you online as a business. So if you are constantly adding and keeping that listing active by telling people when you're open versus when you're closed, and you can schedule these out as far as you want. So if you click the edit and you know you're going to be closed like Memorial Day weekend, you know you're going to be closed the 4th of July, schedule all those out in advance. Like sit down one day and just do it all in one day so that it's done. So that Google can be like, oh, sweet, they're keeping up on their listing. They're telling people valuable information about when they're open versus when they're closed. There's nothing worse in the world, okay, because I've had this happen to me multiple times, living in multiple different locations, where you Google someone's business, you're like, yes, they're open. And then you go and they're closed because they didn't take the time to update their listing. How many people have had that happen to them? Raise your hand. Especially living in upstate New York. So frustrating. So nothing against my upstate New York people. As you all know, you've heard this spiel before from me. But that is so important. So get in here and make sure that all of your information, your categories are up to date. And you can see this is under review. I changed that about 3 weeks ago, and it still has not stuck because of COVID. So when you are going in here, just know that some of these things that you are trying to change may be pending and under review for a little while. But again, it's better to do it now than to be further down the line in the backlog when everybody does finally come back to work and things do start to get moving. Okay, reviews. Respond in a timely manner with a heartfelt response. And again, that's on this left-hand side, and you just click into reviews here and you can manage your reviews and your listing. Don't just like it, okay? Actually respond to it with a heartfelt message, okay? Asking for more reviews regularly. You can either get your customers on a review incentive program, like if you leave us a review on Google, we will be happy to give you X amount of dollars off of your next service, or a gift card, or something where you're recognizing the effort it's taking them to leave you a review and you're giving them something in return, because these reviews are your lifeblood, okay? Remember we said businesses with online reviews are trusted by 73% of consumers. Bigger statistic to pay attention to, 89% of consumers read your response. So this to me, I had to cover this, okay? Responding to a negative review. Your response makes a big difference. Be incredibly professional and leave emotions out of it. How many people have cringed inwardly when they have seen someone, a business owner, respond to a bad review in a really awful way? I can't stress this enough. So if the review is fake or a scam, you can flag the review. So this little flag right here, the owner actually said at the bottom, "I'm so sorry to hear you've had a bad experience, but we're a marketing company, so I think you've got the wrong business. Our business is called White Spark, not Massey's." And then you can flag the actual business or the actual listing as a unfair review or a scam, and Google will review it based on all of your other things and take that into account. And I've actually seen reviews come down for this specific reason, because Google wants to make sure your reviews are accurate. It's not like Facebook where you can't have any kind of control over your reviews. You can flag them, but it is ultimately up to Google as a discretionary measure. I would say, being a military spouse and moving the amount of times that we do, the first thing that I look at is a review when I come to a business. And if I see an owner that has an awful response to a review, I'll be like, nope, never going there. But if I see a business owner who really tries to not appease, but to say, hey, we're all about customer service. We're sorry you've had a bad experience here. We would like another opportunity to make it right. Here's our personal, whatever, please get in touch with us so that we can rectify the situation. Instead of like this owner who is like, you've come here 3 times in 16 months. According to our record, you paid $20, blah, 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 blah. You're entitled to it, but you're not entitled to. I get it. Trust me, I get it. There are some nasty people out there, okay? But you cannot, this is called your business reputation. Your reputation is on the line with how you respond to reviews. So I cannot stress to you enough, leave your emotions at the door and be incredibly professional, because remember, 89% of people will read your response. So take that into account the next time that you respond to a review. Okay, photos. As a general rule of thumb, I always tell people it's a really great idea to add new photos to your Google My Business listing on a quarterly basis. So like every 3 or 4 months, add new photos. I included some handy dandy statistics here, like businesses with more than 100 images get 520% more calls than the average business, while those with just 1 image get 71% fewer. Businesses with more than 100 images get more direction requests, and then more website clicks. Post them yourself or ask your customers to post them for you with their reviews, because they can add a photo with their review. So when you're doing that whole incentive program or whatever to get those reviews, just say, hey, maybe that's where you give them the incentive and say, if you post a photo with your review. I would be happy to do X, Y, or Z the next time that you come back and use our services. I would also, in doing a review incentive program, I would push it back to you instead of someone else. So if you're going to do a gift card, do it for you. Don't do it for like a restaurant or whatever. Do it for your services and bring them back to you to use your services again, instead of pushing that business to someone else. Right. So a couple photo tips here from Bright Local, who's a trusted source, is that 60% of consumers say local search results with good images capture their attention and push them towards a decision. So nothing blurry. You don't want to use stock photography because Google will actually find and delete stock photos. So you want them to be your images. Avoiding overly professional photography, as this can actually make your business seem untrustworthy. Don't you love that? I think it's kind of like the whole, what was it a couple years ago? Eggs are bad for you because of all the cholesterol. Oh no, wait, eggs are good for you, but only the egg white. Oh no, now the egg plus the yolk. You have to have the yolk because the yolk has all the protein. Like, this is kind of what it feels like with Google. They've changed it. It used to be like, and everywhere it used to say, oh, you need super professional headshots and everything needs to look like super staged. It's not like that anymore, you guys. In 2020, like, the professional photography just kind of comes off as like fake. So you want to make sure that, maybe use the same photos that you've been using on your Instagram and your Facebook, so that it just kind of has like that cohesive feel that you're really looking for, and that Google's really looking for. Upload a variety of images, including exterior shots, interior photos, snaps of staff, and pictures of products. And I will actually show you that when we go into that actual listing here. But let's just keep moving through this a little bit. Posts. So a lot of folks don't know that you can now create a post within your Google business listing. Within your listing, and I'll show you this here in a second, you can actually kind of see what other people with businesses similar to yours are posting about to kind of get some ideas, but Google's already done a couple sample posts for you. I like to tell people, think of them like like an extension of your social posts. It's just you have fewer characters to work with and you don't have to include hashtags. So if you're doing a post, they have over here, what's new, event, offer, product. The what's new, I will tell you, this does disappear after 7 business days. If you do an event, you can actually put in a start and an end date. Same thing with an offer, start date and an end date, and that post will stay there for the entirety of those dates that you provided. And you can post a photo or a video. You can post text, and then you have a button that they can push. So, book, learn more, that whole call to action thing where you want them to call you, you want them to place an order online. This is a great place to do that. And again, it's on your Google business listing. So oftentimes it's the first thing that they're going to see other than the info that you provided to Google business as far as your hours, and some of your information, and things of that nature. Okay, users, please, please, please make sure you are an owner of your listing, especially if it was created by an agency. I've seen so many people who do not have ownership, and just like Facebook, I would recommend you have 2 owners on your listing. And that is just as a safety measure. You can see both of those are me. So I don't have anybody else on my listing, but I have 2 separate emails going into my listing so that I know that my account, even if I get locked out on my Kayla Bujanaka page, I can still get in there under my Maple Wild because I am an owner on both of them. And there are different things in there where you can, when you invite a new user, you can actually put them on as something other than an owner, like a manager, and things of that nature, and they don't have as much control. So if you are working with an agency, say, I would like to be listed as the primary owner on my account, and you can be a manager. As the primary owner, you have the ultimate authority on what goes on your Google business listing, and when that agency is over and done with you, or you're done with them, you have your listing and you have ownership of it. Be wary of people calling in and saying they're from Google. There are so many scams out there. I actually had a gentleman with 8 Google business listings who called me one day and said that he got locked out of all of them. It took me 3 months to get them back. And what happened is he was going with a delivery service like Grubhub or something like that, and I can't remember the exact name of this company. But they actually hijacked his Google business listings when he told them that he was no longer going to continue service with them. They created a fake website for him and changed all of his um, links, like so the call to action link on his Google My Business listing, changed all of those from his website to their website, which listed his business and his services, but they got a certain amount off the top of every order. So they didn't want it getting pushed through his website. They wanted it pushed through there so that they could get the money off the top. And I called them directly myself and also spoke with Google to try and resolve this issue. And what had happened was they called in, excuse me, they called into Google and requested ownership of the account. That's a great question. I'll talk to you about that in a sec. So they called into Google and requested ownership, and then they actually called the business and got a code, because there are, depending on like how long your listing has been live, there are different options other than the postcard, like an email that gets sent to like your info at maplewildmarketing.com, or even a phone number. So like this happens a lot of times with restaurants. If they have an actual landline, oftentimes you can confirm and verify your account through a landline. So what had happened was the company had called saying that they were, they had been marketing with the company and used the employees to get that confirmation code from Google, which they then took and used to claim all of those listings as their own. And I'll go over like legal action or like what happens when something like that occurs right now, since we're in that. So as far as I know, and from whatever I looked at, there's nothing really that you can do legally, because there is no like internet police. So there are certain guidelines set up, and I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the name of the I can't remember the name of the task force or the team that's set up to kind of make sure it's like an international, I'll tell you the name of it when I think of it. But anyways, there's no real legal action you can take. And when you call into Google, you have to go through their processes. So it's not like you can say, hey, they hijacked my account, which I did. Hey, they hijacked our accounts and we want them back. Oh, well, we're sorry. You have to wait the 7 business days. And then so within that 7 business days, just to backtrack, there is a process that happens where an email gets sent to the current owner of the account and says, this person is requesting access to your Google My Business listing. And if that person who's the current owner doesn't take any action, that listing gets released back. If they do take action, however, and say no, then you get further blocked out. But Google has a loophole in there where if that does occur, you can still call back into them and you can request a postcard to get mailed to the physical location. So there's like two safeguards in place. They have like, if no one responds, then, and then if no one, then that listing is open and available. And even if they do respond and they still are not the legal owners of the account, you can request a postcard to get sent after that 7-day window. But no matter what, whoever you are, there's a 7-day window. And to me, when I was going through this with my client, I was just appalled at the situation for a business owner when something like this occurs. So that's why I say just be very wary, because unfortunately there are a lot of people out there who know how to work the system, and especially if they're an agency. And that's why I say if you have yourself on there and you know you kind of know the steps and you know what to look for and to stay away from and to pay attention to with your Google business listing, this should not happen to you. Because if he had told his employees, hey, um, the only person you're allowed to talk to or give codes to or anything of that nature is Kayla, then they would not have had this issue. But instead, they had the issue because the employees just gave the code out to whoever. And since that has occurred, their accounts are fine and nothing like that has happened, even though this business continued, even after we got the accounts back, even after all of that, they kept trying to claim those. There were like 3 specific locations they kept trying to claim back, and they could not because we had our safeguards in place. So as long as you know all of these things and you keep an eye out, unfortunately, like I said, there's no legal action you can take because the internet, there's no internet police on something like this, and Google has their measures too. But at least if you know kind of what to go off of and what to look for, you know how to protect yourself. So that's why I really wanted to spend some time on this page, because I've seen this happen far too many times to far too many people, just because they, just the other day I had someone say to me, hey, I had someone from Google calling me about my listing. Is this real? And I'm like, no. So if you guys ever have a question about that, please feel free to reach out to me. Words are hard. And I will let you know for sure one way or the other whether it's something that you should pay attention to or not. But if you ever have the slightest hint of doubt, don't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Okay, so let's get into insights and what to pay attention to so that I can show you some of these accounts here. So what you need to pay attention to here are the very front of your business listing insights page. At the very tippy top, it has how customers are searching for your business. Direct, discovery, branded, okay? And mine doesn't actually, this is off of my account, so this doesn't actually have the branded yet because my account is just too new and I don't have enough people searching for me yet on Google, because honestly, I'm just gonna be real with you guys, I haven't probably spent as much time as I really need to on my Google My Business listing, as far as posting and as far as just keeping it super, super active like I need to. I've done the basics, like what I'm telling you guys today. But as always, we could all do more, right? So not to beat myself up or anything, because you can only do so much. Also be branded down here, but with these you can actually hover over this hop, and again I'll show you that, and there's a drop down here that shows you like 1 week, quarterly, and I think there's even like a day on there, and there's drop downs on each of the options that you can click through to see kind of what's going on a quarterly, weekly basis, to see what people are searching for and how they found you. So you can see that most of the times on Google My Business, the discovery, which is in blue here, is where people find you the most, because they're looking for services or products like yours, and you probably are showing up with those other products, and then they're like, interesting, let me look at that, because that's kind of what I was looking for, and I've never heard of this person before, and they have all these reviews and photos, yada yada, the rest is history. Versus people who are looking for me directly, and they're like, I want Maple Wild Marketing in Colorado Springs, Colorado. That's the difference here. Over here is really interesting to know what people are actually searching for when they find me specifically. So marketing consultant, business, never heard that before. Businesses near me, and you can kind of see how many users are doing that. I have, when we go through the case study here in a second, I'll actually show you a little bit more impressive numbers that tell you a little bit more information. But this is really interesting to me, just because I'm like, sweet, I have people who are looking for me in Google Maps marketing. That's what I do. Local marketing, internet marketing service, marketing agency. Those kind of hit all of my categories. It fits my brand, it fits my website. I don't have people, and I actually am pulling in the query. So when people are searching for a marketing consultant or businesses near me, I'm actually showing, which Yay me. So this is a great spot to kind of hang out, and I'll show you a little bit more about what you can do with this information when we go to the case study here in a second. Let me back out of this so you guys see this. A little bit further down the page, you can view customer actions, like where customers are viewing your business, if they're finding you on maps, or if they're finding you in search, if they're visiting your website. And I don't have a call me on mine. Like, I don't want people calling my phone number. I actually have it set up to push people to my appointment scheduler, because I need to step away from this thing every once in a while. So um, visiting my website is where I'm pushing people. So that's how you can see what they're actually doing there. And again, you can change all of these. So if you want to look what people have done in the last week, and again, I'll show you a real life example of that. This is where you go to find that information. Same thing with photo views. You can see down here, Google tells you things like your photos receive more views than similar businesses. Post more to stay ahead. And this is because people don't post a lot of photos to their Google My Business account. So automatically, when you post 10 to 12 photos, you're going to be way ahead of the game, because odds are businesses like mine, another marketing consultant in Colorado Springs, probably doesn't have any photos on their listing at all whatsoever. So I'm automatically going to perform and rank slightly higher than them with Google's algorithm, because I'm using the listing the way it was intended to be used. Okay, so let me actually get in here. And I want to show you, so this is an actual listing from a client. Okay, so again, when you get in your listing, this is what you're going to see. So let's first look at posts here. So this is where you can really see what you can tell people and how many people are viewing, what you're telling them about within the post. Right now, you can even put a COVID-19 update. Again, adding the offer just kind of has all this fun information here. What's new, an event, or a product. You can put all of that stuff on your Google My Business page as a post. If you go to your home page, that's kind of what I wanted to show you. It'll show you businesses like yours are posting, and you can actually see what people like you. So this is a business that does like lawnmower repair, and things of that nature. And you can see what other like landscaping companies and things like that, you can see what they're posting about. So it's really kind of fun to get in here and kind of look and see what other people are doing and what's kind of trending with them. And you can see how many people have, like, again, viewed your post or clicked, and things like that. So if you go to info for this specific person, they have a lot of different categories, and each one of these categories you can list services for. So they have an actual physical location in New York. Sorry, my Facebook is stinging. And you can add special hours here, a username, website, appointment links. So if you have an actual, oh my gosh, people, seriously. You can actually have appointment links and URLs, so that you can show people a specific area you want them to take action on. So these services, if you click through here, this is where you can tell people more about your custom services and things that you provide, all under here, okay? And this is what people see when they come to you. When you go under their insights, this is really what I wanted to show you guys. So this is that branded feature, customers who find your listing searching for a brand related to your business. And this is off of a month. So if I kind of tap this down to a week, 405 people have searched for them. And when I hover, I can see that 353 of those 405 people have actually just found them searching for something like them. And if I add in the branded, I mean, really only 24 of the 405 people found them directly. So they have a huge market here to really kind of stand out on Google My Business, because their listing is performing really, really well. People are searching right now, even if I go to a week, because I apologize, you guys. Even if they're like in a week, you can see what people are searching for them right now, which is lawnmower repair, small engine repair near me. And one of the things that they asked, they asked about was, gosh, like our Facebook isn't doing really well. Like, what do we do? Like, how do we kind of stay ahead? And I said, okay, well, we really need to focus in on your website right now on making sure like your header says we do small engine repair, and focus everything towards small engine repair, because in New York and other places, it's springtime and everyone's pulling their lawnmowers out of the garage to get them all serviced and ready to go again. So something that they had on their website previously was, when you clicked through, it was just like a blank picture with a couple images of products that they provided to people. And I said, no, that needs to go away. You need a new cover image there with a call to action saying schedule your appointment now, and put an appointment link in there, so that people can really kind of grasp onto that, because that's what people are searching for when they, and I can see that clearly based off of what I'm seeing on their Google business listing. I can see also, how many people are viewing them on maps, probably from a mobile device, versus search, which again are huge numbers. The listing on search is doing higher, so I should really be focusing on those Google posts. I should really be focusing on adding more photos. And then again, here is really interesting information where I can see all of these are up. Okay, so visiting my website, calling, requesting directions, that's all up. So this Google listing, and if I'm trying to tell people where to spend their budget online, I would say, all right, you need to let me play more on your Google business listing, spend your money there for right now if your Facebook's a little bit quiet, and focus here a little bit more time and energy, because I can tell you right here, right now, this is what people are looking for. So let's focus on getting that call to action on your website. Let's focus on getting people to call you, and let's focus on really driving that intention based off of what I'm seeing here on this listing, through the posts, through the info we're providing, through the services, and even think about maybe even doing some Google ads, because clearly you're already performing really well as a listing. So let's kind of take that up a notch here. So, and then again, even right down to, the phone calls, and I can see what time of day within here, that they're getting the most phone calls. I mean, I can even go on a week, and say, oh, okay, so 9 a.m., 11 a.m., and 6 p.m. are like and really like 1 p.m. too. Those are where their calls are coming in. So making sure someone's sitting there ready to take their call, ready to schedule an appointment, and has kind of something ready to go. If I was even thinking about, gosh, well, like, okay, if I put a post out, when should I put a post out on my Google business page? Your most popular time is around 2 p.m. on Tuesday. Okay, let me go to Wednesday. And you can see like the differences, but it tells you your most popular time is 2 p.m. on Tuesday. But if you don't want to post on a Tuesday, maybe you even see Fridays or Mondays, and you can see if it's going to show. You can see it's still loading. You can see how, unless it decides to stop working, you can see when those people are actually taking action on your Google business listing. And then again, he hasn't uploaded any photos yet. So one of the first things I would say to him, okay, we're behind the curve. Businesses like you have all, like, look at how well their views are doing, and you have none. So automatically loading photos would help this account because they don't have any. And then the photo quantity, this is like businesses like you are posting owner photos and customer photos. So I know I need to start with at least 11 photos, um, and beef that up more because you're trying to outpace someone next to you, right, on Google. So what you want to do is start asking, you can see more customers are loading photos than the owner. So I need to start asking customers to load photos to my page. And then with reviews, I actually just went in here and responded to all the reviews for this client because they had not yet done that. They had 22 reviews they had not yet responded to. And some of them were from like last year. So automatically, this is also going to help optimize this page just by, the response that I'm giving as the business owner. Even responding to a negative review that was from like last year. Yes, I have. I went back through and responded to all of them. So this one I think I had responded to previously, but I mean you can see this one's from 2017. Went in there and answered that puppy because again, I know that 89% of people are going to look through here because what it tells people is an active owner versus an inactive owner, and you do not want to appear as an inactive owner on Google. So even if the reviews are super, super old, don't just like them. Leave a response. And who knows, maybe that person, and they get notified when you respond. So who knows, that person will be like, oh gosh, yeah, I need to call them and make an appointment. So there's all those kinds of things to think through when you're thinking, I know it's super old, but it's still really, really important. I just did the exact same thing for someone on Facebook that had reviews that hadn't been responded to back in 2015. And I got responses on them right away from people. And so I know it really says a lot about an owner to go in here and take the time to do this, even if it's, thanks so much for taking the time to stop by and review us, Jeff, first name, and then Gary, we apologize for your experience. Our ultimate goal is customer satisfaction. We hope you will give us another chance. Again, we apologize for your experience and wish you well. I don't think this person would have ever come back, so I'm not going to say, hey, we'd like to offer you blah, blah, blah. But again, I always check with the owner to see what they want to do with this client. So if you're managing someone's account, or if you're the owner and you know that this person isn't going to respond well no matter what, you can just do this. You don't have to offer them anything, but it's a thought that counts, and it's telling people, look, we value you, we value our customers, we value customer satisfaction. Please give us another chance. Apologize for your experience and wish you well. Again, professional, no emotions, no negative emotions, I should say. Don't have emotions, people. Don't be a robot. And then again, just getting in here and adding photos. So I added a couple 2 days ago, and you can see they already are getting views. You can go in here. This is where a lot of people don't realize they can get super specific. They can add interior, exterior, product, team, and identity. So this is where I would say, get some photos of the owners of the business, get some photos of the employees, photos of your products, exterior of your business. If you are I don't have exterior photos, but I do have pictures of my office and my interior. You can even upload videos. If you're a realtor, you could have 360 views. And then this is where people can go to view the customer, and all of the ones that you ever upload will go here. So most of the times what happens is people come in here, see this big blue button, and they're like, do a dump of all of their images. When instead it's much better and helps your page a lot more if you go under those very specific tabs to upload those images specifically. And again, as far as users go, this is where you can manage all the permissions and invite a new user and choose a role for them in here as well. And just to show you on another page too, really quick before I take questions, those insights look different on every single page. So if I was to go down to this listing, for example, and look at how well their photos are doing, I can see they had like 93 people view photos in one day on February 20th. And I mean, you can literally hover over these and see how many people have viewed on which day. And then up here as well, again, just taking a peek at what people are searching for. Chalkboard, chalk artist near me, artist for hire, chalkboard artist near me, chalk artist for hire near me. And you can really kind of slant your posts and your call to action based on what these people are searching for specifically. I mean, this is a huge opportunity to kind of take a peek on a weekly, monthly, quarterly basis and really kind of see how people are finding you and what you should be talking about when you're talking about your posts, and how you can kind of update your website and keep that content relevant and fresh based on what people are looking for. So, and again, just looking at the difference between discovery of people who are finding your listing versus people who are searching for you directly, there's a huge opportunity on Google My Business to kind of make a really good impact with your business on here. But you have to remember, you need to be incredibly specific with, if you are an in-home business, pushing your service areas, your special hours, your appointment links, your services, even your highlights, like, are you veteran led, are you women led, and things like that, and pushing things like that in this listing, because all of that helps you guys. Anyways, that was kind of the rundown on Google Business and optimizing your page, a little sneak about SEO. Do you guys have any questions other than what I already answered, those two questions that I already answered? And is there anything else you'd like to ask me about SEO or Google My Business while I have you all here? No questions, the wrong question. I'll wait for like a minute and then I'll tell you one more thing and then I'll let you guys go. And maybe while I'm waiting, I'll just tell you. So this will be uploaded to YouTube. You guys will get an email with all of the links, and there's some resources in there. And don't forget too, I think a lot of people, like Mike just said, oh my gosh, I have a lot of work to do, LOL. Don't forget, this is not a like one touch and then done. Okay, this is something where these listings have been poured into multiple times on different levels. It's not a sit here and do all of this one time and then walk away from it. So maybe one day you focus on photos and then you put a calendar reminder for 3 or 4 months later and say, I need to upload, I need to upload 10 more photos. I need to send an email to all of my clients and ask them to send me a review. Just focus on one thing at a time with this. Rome was not built in a day. So, and this is not something, all of our listings evolve. Like I said, I still feel like I have a lot of work to do because SEO is not a one-time event. Local SEO, local search is not a one-time event. You can't get in here and expect that you can do everything that you need to do and then walk away from it, because even like last year, those service areas were not, they weren't a thing. Google didn't offer that as a thing. It just said Colorado Springs, Colorado. And it didn't actually offer service areas to people who don't have a location, and their deliveries and home services only. So the listings, just like social media, they're evolving and they're adding new things all the time. The COVID-19 update was not an option up until about 2 weeks ago on Google My Business listings. So you couldn't even go in there and add anything like that. You would have had to do a regular post. But now you can do a COVID-19 update and have it stick out a little bit more so that people can see it. If you do have a physical location, I just wanted to point out really quick, if you do have a physical location right now and you are closed down because of COVID-19, you can mark your listing as temporarily closed. And then when all of this lifts, you can revamp it. But I will say, I will argue another thing that you could do instead of marking it temporarily closed, because what I'm afraid of is a lot of folks marking things as temporarily closed, and then remember you're going to be in that system of backlogs with Google. And I'm already seeing people waiting a whole heck of a lot longer than I would have a month ago, or even 3 weeks ago, for edits to even pull through. Like if I wanted to add a service area, I mean, it's taken 3 weeks for me to add a category on mine, and it still hasn't gone through. So what I would recommend to you, instead of marking your location as temporarily closed, is I would get in here and I would just add the days that you are going to be closed, that you know you're going to be closed until like the market kind of reopens, so that you don't have to go through reopening up your entire listing. Because what this does is it puts a big temporarily closed on your listing, and then you're going to have to wait for Google to take that off. So another thing too, just to note, I have heard from folks that Google has actually disabled reviews, like either leaving a review or responding to a review. And I've had several people who that's actually impacted. I have not actually seen that on any of my listings, and I have like 35 of them on one account and 6 on the other account. So like I have a lot of listings that I have under my domain, I guess you could say, but I have not actually seen that affecting them specifically. But I have been getting screenshots and people asking me about it because it's impacted them. Like someone's tried to leave us a review, but they're not actually showing. Like Brittany's saying that she's had something where people are giving them reviews, but they aren't showing to us at the public. And that is because of COVID-19. So, and it seems like it's like Google has said that they have disabled that right now just to kind of protect people from getting like bad reviews that they can't respond to or whatever. But it seems really sporadic. So I would almost say, you know, if you're going to do the whole review incentive program thing, I would wait until all this is kind of settled a little bit, so that you know that those reviews are actually going to stick. Because what I'm afraid of is that those reviews who people left like are just kind of like in hyperspace, like because I don't have full faith that they're going to suddenly appear on people's accounts at the end of this thing, if that makes sense. So that's what makes me a little bit nervous. So if you're going to do the review incentive program, I would wait. But everything else on this page, on this channel, you can totally work on right now. Get yourself in line in that queue, in that backlog, so that you're not way far, far, far in the back when everything finally blows over and things kind of start filtering back through, because you're going to have to wait a whole heck of a lot longer than if you do it, you know, if you kind of start the ball rolling now on some of this stuff. If that makes sense. Hopefully it does. So anyways, those were the last couple things. Again, this will be on YouTube. You will get a link with all of, you'll get an email with all the links, resources, recording. And then in my stories today, and again, if you guys want to shoot me an email as well, maplewildmarketing@gmail.com, you can also respond back to that email I'm sending out. I have my last webinar next week. And I would love for you guys to tell me what you want to know more about. Because I would like that by tomorrow, so that I kind of know what to go off of. Because again, I'm doing this for you guys. I want this to make sense for you guys, and I don't want to just get up here and teach about what I want to teach about. So if you guys have things that are really hard for you, and that you want more information about, that's what I want to teach about. So again, either respond to that email or shoot me an email, or send me a DM in my Instagram stories today on what you want to know more about. Think about it between now and this evening, and let me know before tomorrow afternoon, so that I can kick that out and let people know what the webinar is going to be about next week. But thanks guys so much for coming. I don't see any more questions, so I'm going to wrap things up so you guys can get going, because I've kept you long enough. But if you do have questions in the meantime about anything Google business related, please let me know. I'm here for you guys. And I hope you guys have a great Wednesday, and we will talk soon. Thanks, guys.